welcome back. So we're still in Golden, BC, and here's another review of a Canadian graphic novel. So this one is called 100 Days in Uranium City by Ariane Denomme. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your last name there or your first name, but English is my only language. Shame. But yeah, so this is the second edition of this particular book. The first edition was published in 2016 in its original French, and then in 2018 from Conundrum Press under the Bidang imprint. So again, another fantastic book. I can't compare it to the original. Like I said, English is my only language. So let me just give you a straight up review of this as far as I read it. The first thing that struck me was the heavy pencils. Absolutely beautiful art. Heavy pencils all throughout. No inks were used as far as I can tell. And the thing about the pencils is they work so well in the different settings that she's working in. So the one setting of in the backwoods of northern Quebec, you get this really cool contrast of these stark lights against the pencil, as well as the pencil smudges. They kind of act to bring it all together. But once you get down into these uranium mines, that's where the art really takes you, I think, on a different path, and you get that sense of the grunginess that's there. It puts you there. So the art is fantastic, but that's really just like the short of it. There's so much more to this book. So yeah, we're following the story of who I get the impression is Ariane's parents, and this might even be during the time that Ariane was conceived. So it takes place in like the early 1980s, maybe 1979. I saw that Ariane was born in 1981, so I get the sense that it's probably about her parent. And she mentions that she interviewed her dad extensively to create this. So basically, we're following this guy through his experiences of working in uranium mines in northern Quebec, and what that culture is kind of like. And this acts as such a great portrait of this very difficult life that I think existed at that time and probably continues to exist now. And I work a desk job, so I haven't lived this experience, but working in the mines, I've heard from friends and colleagues over the years what working in the mines up in Nunavut is like in northern Quebec. Sounds very, very similar to the situations in northern Alberta, working on oil rigs, and in fact, they even mentioned that in there. The most important piece about this setting, though, I think, and the point that I think Ariane was trying to take you to, is that this life is not that dissimilar from life as a prisoner. You work in very poor conditions. There's not enough people to do the work. The food is like the food in some of the prisons that you hear about in the States, where food is and nutrition are sacrificed in the interest of the dollar. Even the setting, like when she was drawing some of the scenes from the food hall, the cafeteria, where the workers get their food, it looks like a prison meal hall, hands down. And as people are talking about their family back home, wanting to go back to their kids, maybe ruining their kids' lives even by not being around, you get the sense that these workers didn't really have that big of a choice in this. There isn't many opportunities. So very similar to being a prisoner and being in jail, I think. Yeah, the pencil smudges within the panels, outside the panels, really brings the book together. I have to mention I was listening to Bruce Cockburn at the time, and really fits with this sort of northern Quebec, very Canadian feeling experience. The people in the book, the other characters, the supporting characters, are often nameless characters. And that just drives home the idea of the transience of this. even though people aren't sort of congregated into this really tight space for long periods of time, they're congregated into the space for sort of shorter periods, like 3 months, 3 weeks even. So you never really get to know anybody, which kind of breaks my heart. A lot of the characters in the book are turning to addiction, particularly with alcohol. It makes a lot of sense given the situation they're in. It really does create a good portrait of a Canadian's life, an everyman Canadian's life. Smooth pencils. Some of the transitions in this book really got me, and just had such emotional impact. Like flying over this abandoned well or this abandoned mine, and it just kind of acts as a scratch on the surface of the landscape. And you kind of wonder, well, maybe the characters feel like this, and just from the expressions that she used on the characters' faces, that was definitely felt, I would say. Compelling statement on employment. Compelling statement on how much employment can actually feel like slavery. Humanity and its rawness here. As far as the Canadian themes that I look for in this, is there elements of survival? Yes, absolutely. This is all about survival. Really having a baby, the uncertainty of a baby coming along in your life, and trying to survive that experience and providing the best you can for your family. Sexuality themes definitely in here as well. As I think, like I said, Ariane's, who I think is her dad, that's courting this woman in this story and trying to survive these romantic relationships given the distance. So yeah, 100 Days in Uranium City. Fantastic read. Thank you so much, Ariane. Good stuff.